Ohayo gozaimasu, minasan. Welcome to the channel. It is currently day 5 of my diet, so I'm beginning to get a little bit of the droopy face. And I'm excited today to spend my 100 odd calories on a sample I've been meaning to taste for literally years now. This is the Yuza Distillery. First edition, 2022. Kindly sent in by my friends at PM Spirits. So that is the payola disclosure alert there for you. All right, this is the, aside from like Nika from the barrel and stuff, this might be the first actual Japanese whiskey I'm reviewing on the channel. So yeah, there are reasons for that. We'll get to that after the break. But yeah, I'm kind of intrigued by this. So Yuza is a new distillery. It's from Yamagata Prefecture, which is kind of in the north. It's not the far north, but the north of Honshu. It's not. Although it's the first in the prefecture, it's not really out there on its own. If you go east, you get hit Miyagikyo, but that's. I mean, you're talking across the mountains now. So you're talking about the difference between most of Honshu being in like a kind of subtropical-ish climate, and once you're in Yuza territory, you're starting to get like humid continental. So you're getting huge bonkers swings in temperatures. You were getting cold nights. You were getting warm days. You were getting long gross summers and long snowy winters. It's just kind of, but it's not as cold as some of the distilleries further north. So it's kind of a fun, different place to get whiskey. I don't know a whole lot about their setup. They got some wooden washbacks. They got a short wash still. They have a even shorter, stockier spirit still. It's a pretty simple setup. It's a distillery started by basically a shochu consortium, which itself is a consortium, a group of sake makers local to Yamagata Prefecture. They wanted to diversify a little bit. So I'm intrigued by this. Again, it's the 2022 edition. The distillery only started in 2018, so you're talking 3-year-old whiskey. But yeah, let's give it a shot. On the nose, I mean, you're not missing malt whiskey on a blind tasting. I mean, this absolutely smells like, fresh apple, pear, a little quince in there. Honey, like a mix of like lighter, brighter honey, citrus honeys, but also a little bit of heavier honey in there. Maybe a little bit of honeydew honey in there as well. There's a lot of black pepper kicking up in this. Vanilla. Yeah, initially I'm a little bit taken aback. So it's very very malty, fruit forward. You're not missing malt, but it's also has a it's very upfront with a spicy character. So it's black pepper. But even a little bit of like a Szechuan dry chili thing as well. Maybe even with a little bit of like an aniseed ginger, 5 spices thing. I know, different country, but bear with me. Has a little bit of that maritime touch I associate more with, Miyagikyo or Yoichi or those guys. So it's like, it's not like really a briny thing. It's almost more like a dried seaweed kind of thing. Clean, but still brings across a lot of kind of spiciness, a little bit of a maritime character. That's kind of what you're getting here. And a little bit of florals. There's a hair bit of almost a white flower kind of thing going on. And maybe some chocolate as well, like malted milk balls. Yeah, let's go with that. I'm looking for more. We'll go back to it after I add water. But let's try this neat. It is bottled pretty hot. This is 61% alcohol, so good on them. On the palate. So yeah, it's not. I mean, this is young. It's not showing any complex, weird tertiary notes yet. Like none of that has come through, but there is a ton of complexity and just balance to this, which belies its age. This is hella good, well-made stuff. Let me try this again. I can almost repeat the nose. Lots of fruit. Just fruit bubbling over. Applesauce. Like slightly overripe pear. Quince jam. But then there's a lot of like a kind of an orange. Okay, yeah, that orange blossom honey thing, like citrus honey thing. But there's also just like some orange peel going on in here. Orange peel, orange like pith. There's a little bit of fruit pith in there. Manuka honey, really more so than honeydew honey. And again, that aggressive spicy note. Black pepper. Yeah, sorry, Japan. I'm gonna have to go back to Szechuan. Yeah, this has like that dry chili thing wrapped up with a little bit of a floral note, a little bit of an aniseed note, very subtle, a little bit of a ginger note. Some of that is coming from the oak, but some of it's coming from the distillate. It's a whole thing. Vanilla, yeah, sure. Creme brulee. The flowers pick up every time I have another sip of this. It's almost getting like a potpourri kind of thing, but not bad. This is good, delicious potpourri that is filling my mouth with aromatic, floral deliciousness. There is some overstewed tea on this, some good old-fashioned overstewed English breakfast tea. Really kind of big and tannic on the finish. Wood definitely coming through on this. I mean, you can tell this was not aged and matured in Scotland, right? It just, like, you can feel a little bit of the continental shifts in temperature happening here. Like, there's just a little bit more edge to the wood, but it works. Again, not a ton of complexity yet. We're not developing tertiary notes yet. But what's there? The barrel and the malt are really doing a heck of a good job. Lovely mouthfeel, pretty good mouth length that we're starting to tickle the back of my mouth a little bit. Finish is not super duper long, but long enough to be and pleasant. I'm going to give this some water and we'll come back to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think I'll need more than 5. Let's see. I'm tempted. Yeah, I'll give it another squirt. Well, I got half a squirt. Thanks for bearing with me. I'm obviously tasting this without notes. Because PM Spirits, for all their generosity, only sent me maybe an ounce tops. Thanks, guys. All right, so yeah, I don't really review a whole lot of Japanese whiskey. Why is that? Do I just hate Japanese whiskey? Do I hate Japan? No. Back in the day, I used to run tastings of Japanese whiskey. We did the Yamazakis and the Nika lineup to the extent that we could get it back then. And the whatever else was out there. And I mean, I am currently wearing my Neon Genesis Evangelion watch. Do not question my weeaboo credentials. Maybe I shouldn't have revealed that. But yeah, I it's very well made. I just think it's too darn expensive. Like, even this, I'm seeing prices on this. They're all over the place, but I'm seeing prices on this bottle, a full 750 of this, for over $200. And you thought prices on initial bottlings from like Scotch whiskey distilleries, new Scotch whiskey distilleries was bad. No, they're just too expensive, and like they don't get maybe as much exposure as they did, say, 5 years ago, but relative to the production of Japanese malt, I still think they might be a little bit overexposed. So if you really want to explore Japanese spirits, and you should because they're yummy, I mean, you are going to have to pay the money because it's an expensive place to make booze, and it's an expensive place to ship booze out of. But I mean, I think the rum is definitely worth a look and better price than the whiskey, and shochu to some extent. You got to be careful with shochu because there's a whole variety of different styles. And I know Kinryo in particular, the owners of this, are known for making neutral shochu, which is probably not what you want if you're watching this channel. But yeah, there's stuff out there worth exploring, and but the whiskey, man, the prices right now. I'm gonna wait for them to come down. I'm gonna wait for them to come down a lot. All right, hopefully that was enough time to give the little Yuza first edition a chance to open up. Let's see how it is with water. Yeah, I swear that kind of like Sichuan 5 spice kind of nose thing. It's totally picked up now. Like there's almost some lavender creeping through, ginger, aniseed, chili, black pepper. But it's all of that. Everything I just said is against a background of just beautiful, like tree fruit, apple, pear, quince. Some cinnamon in there now. Vanilla. Yeah, and that little hint of like seaweedy stuff. Not so much seawater, it's almost like like wet seaweed. Like, something washes up on the shore of your, Lake Michigan over there. There's a little bit of that on the nose. It's a very nice, very floral nose. It does not smell like a 3-year-old. It smells, it doesn't smell like a 20-year-old either. It doesn't smell old, but it smells like the distillate and the oak are singing in harmony, and that's great. Maybe some tea leaves. What kind of tea leaves? Like a light black tea, maybe? Not sure. On the palate. I made the face because the finish is actually holding on longer now. Ooh. Yeah. Again, I could just repeat the nose. Sichuan 5-spice blend, pepper, dry peppercorns, dry chili, all the flowers. There's some roses in there now. There's some lavender. I'm looking for violets, but no violets. White flowers. But I can't get over how long the finish is hanging on. There's this aggressive kind of woody tannic thing, like tons of overstewed tea in the finish, and that hangs on, but the floral thing hangs on as well. And a good amount of the fruit also hangs on. Oh yeah, apple, pear, all that stuff, that's still here. The honey, that's all still here. In terms of notes, it doesn't develop a whole lot with water, which, I mean, it's young whiskey. You wouldn't expect that. A little more cinnamon, a little more floral. But the mouthfeel, the mouth presence in general, really kind of steps up. Slightly improved mouthfeel. The mouth length was already pretty good, and it's still pretty good. And the finish has taken a big step up. This is very, very good indeed. Wish it wasn't so darn expensive, but that's where the game is right now. Oh, what am I going to give this? I will give this a full-blown 87 plus. I think it calls for it. It's not. This is not a bells and whistles kind of new distillery, new whiskey. It isn't doing that, hey, the enthusiasts want peat and they want worm tubs and they want direct fire. None of that. None of that. Simple stills, indirect firing, bourbon casks. That's it. That's all they're doing. But it's just working. Something about the way they're doing it is working beautifully well. And yeah, I'm going to give this a full 87 plus. I think it's worth it. You're going to have to pay a little bit to try it, but you know, that's the game. All right, I have blabbered on about this bottle long enough. 87 plus for Yuza Distillery First Edition. And yeah, I'll see you again probably on Friday. Bye. Thanks for watching. Wish me luck on my diet.